I really don't make much of Paladins content anymore, but at least I'm gonna try to get back into it. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna self-analyze some of my Drogoz gameplay I recorded. Some of these are gonna be wins, some of these be losses, but I'm only gonna show matches that I feel like. So it's a bit of my insight. I've been playing this game since around 2016. Yeah, sounds about right. 2016. Drogoz has always been really the only main champion I've played, and my first title, I'm level 70 currently as of the video being uploaded. And this match it's pretty short. Um, if we can tell by the levels, we basically stomped on them. So, by all means, let's just get started. So I'm going to be analyzing my own gameplay, and so hopefully people who watch these videos and people who want to learn how Drogoz is played, you get to have a chance to do that. Down below, I'm gonna in the description, I'm gonna link the actual gameplay without commentary because I am going to be pausing and stopping. So you want to see the full thing, that'd be in the description below. Otherwise, let's do this. So I'm looking at this comp initially. And so every time when I play Drogoz, I always think about the composition and the map. This helped me decide what talent and what card loadouts I'm going to be using. Now I'm usually around the upper Diamond Master level ELO. In terms of casuals, that's usually around who I play with. I think Tren1ty's here near, which you will see in another video later on. Uriah, who's a great Indroxes, I played with him a few times in the past. We got pretty high level people, and these people are more likely skilled. I haven't really checked on them. This is no, I really don't know why I picked level 3, but it's casuals. But for the most part, you have people who know what they're doing. Oh, fucking Steam, get out of here. And so let's get started. So I'm looking at this, and I know that from past experience that the Ying, the Inara, and the Kanasa, these work well when you run a combustible build, but sometimes it's best for Fuselates, especially you got the Vora and the Meave, and also the Inara, which is very big hitbox. You're able to hit them fairly easily. Well, as long as you run a salvo build, because Meave is hard to hit, and that's why I have a salvo build made to deal with small flankers like them. But and most part, there is on certain beats, so I can kind of already have an idea of how they're gonna play. Um, and I'm going on the assumption that my team knows what they're doing. So some of my play style I am going to be using, and what I feel like most people use, is that it has to be dependent on whether or not your team is able to carry in the work for you. Alright? So, with that in mind, I'm thinking either Fuselator or Combustible instantly. Because if I were to go Wormjets, I would deal with the Knessa and the Meave, and I don't want to, and I don't want that because the Knessa is going to screw me over. It's open map, so I decided to, I believe it's combustible. That I decided on this. Yeah, I was deciding here of which talent to go to. Just to recap what Drogo's talents do. Combustible applies a knockback and deals an additional 300 damage over 2 seconds. Now, knockback has I believe it's 400 unit radius of the explosion itself, and it applies 1k damage. So just one spit alone gives you 1500 damage plus a knockback, which is very very useful, especially if we're going against people with mobility or people hiding around a point or camping on the point. It's great for zoning. Fuselated is more for direct damage, and it's easy to do it when you have like bigger hitbox people or champions, like you got Buck, a Ruckus, a Makoa, a Terminus. For the damage side, you can use this against a Victor. You can use this against a Strix. Strix is kind of decent with this too. You can use this against Emoji, a Pip, a Damba, a Grok. Easy to hit targets is when you best want to use Fusillade. Or if you happen to have a lot of flankers, you still want Fusillade because of low HP, and there's a build at half of that, and I'll get a video on that sometime soon. And the last one is Wormjet, which increases movement speed while using boosters. It also allows you to utilize your um, what's it? Your propel, your jetpack a lot easier. You get a lot more mobility. It's kind of like a forest jetpack in Overwatch, and they're just unscripted. I know, so I'm just doing it on the fly. Deal with it. But yeah, I decided to go with combustible, and that was just recap. So when it comes to combustible, I have this build for combustible: lung capacity 1, masterful 5, throw the hunt 4, propel 4, condensation 1. You guys can feel free to copy this or look at my name and copy it. I don't care. Use my builds. So the cool thing about this build is basically like your typical combustible build. I'm playing for more of a ground Drogoz, meaning that I don't fly around often. I try to use my height to my advantage. The only time I fly around is if I'm trying to get a odd angle to attack with, or I am trying to get into a spot. So throughout this video, you're going to see me flying around, but I would just stay on like a balcony or the ground or a rooftop or something. I don't stay in the air. That's just usually not me. I don't have that playstyle. And so hence why the only thing you have when it comes to actually using my thrust, my thrust is the propel condensation throw the hunt. I don't have any fuel reserve. I don't have any of that stuff. So the cool thing about this build is that Massive Roll will usually reset your spit after you hit like 2 or 3 enemies with it, which is kind of useful because it can go back to back, but it does have a 5-second internal cooldown. Usually if you can get lucky enough, you can kind of play around with that. Especially against Chronos 3, it becomes much easier to do that. Propel gives you my movement. Throw the hunt is for killing blows, and these killing blows do apply on your spit. And because you can reset the spit, we only cover that as 1.3k damage with 300 burn effect. And so that's 2.6k damage you can dish out in less than like 2-3 seconds. And that's why this is very useful. And not only that, we have 2 thrust resets. You got thrust reset on your spit with condensation, and you got thrust reset on your kills with throw the hunt. So this allows me to just keep the momentum going. Rather hit a spit or rather get a kill, I'm going to be able to move again. Spit, move again. If I get a kill, even better, move again. And that's essentially the idea of this build. You want to play as a poke until you can start gaining momentum by moving. And lung capacity is a filler card. You can put any card in here. It does not matter. I just go for heal. So I'm talking with the people. So basically, on the match before this, I played with the Cthulhu guy, which I believe is our Barrick. Yeah, and I basically like fought over him easily the match before this. I didn't record it, so that's what he's talking about. So yeah, I'm a shout out to the dude. He's pretty lit. Oh, I muted it. Rip. Alright, so the match is about to start. I'm just chatting. No, you want to play casual. You don't want to get too upbeat. Now I will press tab a lot. I will press tab a lot, and I will do this to check the item, check the card, or check what kill streak they're on. I would do this often. This kind of reminds me of like where I'm at or what I'm doing. So instantly, as usual, the most standard thing you're ever gonna do is just buy cauterize. It's such a good, versatile item. So off the bat, I'm just gonna go on right side. I look here. I know that Kinessa is on the rooftop. You can tell by the trajectory of this mine. If we go back a little bit, I saw one person, which is, I believe that's a warrior, go right. So I know there's one guy right. The Minar and the Ying are going mid. So I know there's one up here, 2 going mid, and 1 going to my right, just from this alone. This tells me that right side is my best opportunity, specifically this area, because that gives me protection from the sniper. I can use my combustible to shoot the payload, the point, and then I have to deal with this Aurora, which is going to peek. And more likely, I'm going to have another person with me. Like I said, I'm going on that assumption. So I'll try to salvo to get the Kinessa out of the way. And as you see me, I'm just using my spit. Now I notice there's no one up here. I don't know where this Vora is. The Vora is still down here somewhere, but I don't know that. I know that there's no one there currently. I saw the Yanar fall back, and here's the cool thing about combustible. You see them going through. The burning reveals the enemy to you. So I know DNR is going to be on this back staircase. So that's why I went over here. I'm saving my thrust in case I'm going to get damaged. I know it's on the point. I got this free area over here. And I'm just gonna, keep getting poke shots. Now this kill, that was lucky. My only way I knew that a Meve was there is by sound cues. Take a listen. So I heard and saw that trill, and I heard the Meve fighting from that end. So I tried to predict that she's gonna be over there, and obviously it got the kill. Now I turn around because I'm healing. I'm seeing that our dredge up here is being shot at. He's being attacked, and I hear the Vora movement. I believe it's her vine. I hear that right there. That I hear the I believe it's obliterate or whatever it's called when she does the circle attack. I hear that, so I went to go out and investigate. And it's very important that you always want to stay aware of where your teammates are doing, because as a Drogoz, the only way to escape is that thrust, that F ability, your travel. That's your only means of escaping. So you want to make sure that you're not in a position in which you know you're going to die. You want to take care of any backline as soon as you can, because you need that safety net in case if I get rushed by a Ying or a Noah or whatever, or like the Knessa. I don't know where the Knessa is. Only know that she was up there on the upper bridge area, so that's all my information going on. So Voa dies. I decided to take this upper portion. Now I'm waiting. Now usually I'm waiting for someone to go through here because most of the time they will. The Anoa just went off of reset, and then they know I go, so I'll just turn around at bad timing. But I'm just going to use my combustible and just get some damage. I know Ying's over there. I know it's right there. Mace behind me, so I tried running away. I almost died here. That was scary. I almost died in the middle because I was in the open. And that's why I was talking about, in which you want a safety net to fall back to, because that Meve literally came from nowhere. And I had to get out of there. And that's why it's super important to keep in mind where you are and where your cooldowns are. As I said earlier, I try to save the thrust as long as I can. I had 10 seconds to do it, and I used it wisely. Now I saw the Knessa up there, so that's why I wanted to quickly shoot that spit and get out of the way. I obviously got hit by the Knessa, but I know the Ying. I saw her burn. She's back there. And I call out the Knessa on the bridge. Now I saw the Vora shoot her thing, so I used that spit once again to not only knock him back, but get that reveal. You can see I already got that damage outgoing. It's 473 because his spit is a radius, so the farther away, the less damage is going to be to it. And so, which is why I don't want to have 1k damage when you should say 1k damage plus fall off, but that's just me. But I know that Vora is over there, so I'm just going to chase it down. Now understand that I haven't played this game in months. Understand that. But that's just me using my spit and my rocket to my advantage. The knockback is so useful, but I just died to overtime. And this is why I asked, because like I said, I haven't played this game like a month leading into this, so I don't know if Vora's damage over time is Haven or a Blast. And so that's why I haven't played Vora yet. I haven't play tested her. So that's why I didn't know. But this part is very interesting. I used my salvo. Now I'm here expecting that the people on the point free damage. I see no one. Instead, I see Knessa in the back. And so I'm using my salvo to lure her away to get out of the line of sight so my team can push up. It's not always times you use the ability just for damage. You want to use an ability also for a distraction. Obviously, I missed. She had to go away. So she had to be, out of line of sight. Endo killed at me, which gives me time to go up, and I don't know why that took so long. Once again, using my spit. I see Vola up there, I shoot at her. Just the basic things. Now once again, I saw Kinessa back there. Now I gotta keep that in mind. And I also saw the Meave run across. So I know there's a Meave up here with me now. And I know Anoa's down there. Same with the Ying. So I know where 4 of the champions are there. I know where 4 of the enemies are. And that's why I'm gonna stay on here for the next minute. And just kind of be a backliner. This Meave didn't know I was there, but I kind of messed it up. So now I'm here, so I have all my abilities, so I'm trying to bait her, because I know I cannot beat a Meave in the 1v1. I know that. So I try my best to bait her to me, but she just gets me because she's a Meave. So what else do you expect? But we got traded, so that's a good trade. Once again, I'm checking to see what they have. Checking to see what my team has. Now I decided to take the high ground. As usual, as I'm talking about, I play as ground Drogoz, so I don't use flying. I use high ground. Those are 2 different things. So oftentimes, for me, it's best to just stick on these bridges or these balconies and shoot down. Salvo hit. My spit to hopefully knock him back. Help the Androxes. She's burning. I know where she is. Endo should be able to kill her, but Vola comes from nowhere, actually. And I try to do a little fancy thing. I try to do a combination in which you would detonate your spit with the AoE of your rocket. So basically the idea is that you spit to a target, but then you hit the target with a rocket. That's 850 damage, but your rocket's explosion radius would trigger your spit explosion radius. And so that's what it's doing here. So ideally, you can dish out 1,850 damage on a spot in less than a second. Fusillade, I believe that is 2130 damage in 1 hit. And that's what I was trying to do here, but I messed up. I aimed a little bit offside. So. But what happened there, the reason why it's so much is because because Drogoz has another property with the spit. It's when you hit an enemy directly with the spit, that enemy would take 30% bonus damage from any source. I believe it's 30%. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong with that. So this is fortunate. This is kind of fortunate, kind of unfortunate. If I would have timed this right, she would have died. But I dished out 1030 damage on her. 1020 damage because it hits her plus my rocket, and that gives me that 1000 damage burst. And we happen to push it in, so that's the end of this round. Now I'm gonna buy in items. I have cauterized 2. I was checking Discord because some friends were messaging me on Discord, so that's why my mouse is clicking off. Let me fast forward a little bit. Still checking Discord. So once again, I'm checking to see what they have. This is pretty difficult because, like I said, I'm being pressurized a lot based on how I'm being zoned. Because I know that if I had to play super aggressive, I'm offside, I'm off-centered. I have no way to go back if things go haywire. So for me, trying to adjust to how that all-female team is playing, it was kind of difficult because positioning, and Drogoz is a very positioning-based champion. Alright, so checking the cards. I decided to go middle. I want to play something different. I'm pre-firing the Anora. Kinessa, now this is pretty smart. Kinessa hit me, so I had to go back, and I was gonna jiggle peek to hit the spit, but Anora actually warded off, so I couldn't use that AoE, which is pretty smart of her, because now I'm on a 7-second cooldown with my spit, and there's nothing I could do, and I had to wait and heal. So for this point, I had to play a little bit cautious until I get my overtime healing, my out of combat healing. Me saw it, so like I said, I was scared to be pushed. Now, that was a lot. I heard Birgott. Obviously didn't go off because he died. I heard Ceresol. So I know, so I'm hoping that she got someone on the point. So this is when I use my spit. Try to get one, I got no one. I'm shooting, I'm pre-firing. I see Meave go around here. I try to pre-fire her. And I'm just staying in the back. I'm using my spit, I'm zoning. I missed there, but I'm just playing poke Drogoz. Now, I ulted, because I thought the Anora was in the middle waterfall area. And I know Andor just died, so there's a Bora over there. And I know Anora is somewhere on the point. And I know Kinessa just died. So with this combined, I should have a pretty good chance of getting this ult kill. Like I said, ulted, she's not here. I decided to run back. She's right there. Voa is chasing me. So that was another instance I tried to do. And this is partially lucky, but partially intentional. So I killed the Anora with my salvo. That goes on cooldown. I know Voa is coming this way, so I use my thrust to get in the opposite direction. And that's the cool thing about Drogoz's thrust, is because you can use it as a way of movement. You can get your edge. And so when I talked about in the beginning of the video, when I said that I would use Drogoz's flying to get an odd angle, that is what I'm talking about. So right here, I hit her once with a quick flick, and then I'm going to spit and try to detonate the spit to use an AoE to kill her. Because now she's obviously runs away, and this Meave just happened to come in at perfect timing. So you're going to see a big splash that I did. So there's a salvo, I thrust away, hit, spit. I got the double kill. Meave's up there, taking a burning. She took knockback, so she was in middle. This animation was in sprint, so she got knocked back as she was in sprint. So that ruined her momentum, and she had to rebuild it. That made me happy. That was a great shot. I was like, okay, I got this. I didn't expect for me to hit her, but just for the memes, I'm gonna say that was intentional. Now, I see Kinessa. I got hit, so I'm not gonna peek her. Now instead, I'm gonna use coming up another distraction trick. Usually when you use the spit, most people are going to assume your Drogoz is going to detonate it. Instead, I decided to use the spit more so as a distraction to once again get her offside. I did this earlier with the salvo. I'm going to do it again with the spit. I'm going to shoot at her, make sure she got aware of. I used the spit. I got the Ying. I know Ying's back there. I'm going to camp up here. They didn't push up, so I'm all good. I already know it. Hopefully to use the damage, use the spit once again, knocked her back. I see Vora. It's not worth my time. Just trying to pressure her away. Use my spit again. Knock back the Anora. And Drogoz. Once again, the Kinessa is back over there. I thought I was gonna die, so I didn't want to risk that. Just doing some pop shots once again because the Kinessa, corner shooting like this is a very good way to counter a sniper. I don't know where she is. I'm guessing. I'm using my knowledge about the map to know how high I should move my cursor so I can corner peek. Now that's when I spit. I spat, knowing I was low on ammo, but look what it does. You see the Kinessa moving away. Now, She saw the spit. She saw the intro. I wasn't going to hit that. I had no intentions to hit that because I quickly saw for that split second she's moving away. So I hold it. And now since because she was moving away, that Drogoz has an easy time to shoot her. Now over here I just try to spawn trap him. We're being dominant, so this is just me using my resources just trying to spawn trap him. Once again, good another roll. I couldn't get that reset. Now I flew here because I thought I heard a Nora coming onto my end, so I didn't want to die. So I used my ultimate. I'm looking around. I'm using his third person to see where they are. I know that Maeve is camping, and I saw someone else in front of her, so I know there's two people over there. And so I just kind of used this ultimate once realizing the annoyer was not with me to use that third person camera to see who's on the other side. So with the information gathered, I'm gonna spit, knock back. She dies. My spit resets because it works on eliminations too. If I remember correctly, it does work on the eliminations for that reset. Or killing blows. I try to remember. Let me check what happened. Alright, so it looks like it's own killing blows. But point is, I still get that burst did help get the kill, plus we need serious orbs. And so we just end the match. I used my spit. I was trying to kill the Meave, but instead I get the annoyer. And I just taunt. And that was the match. So like I said, throughout the match, I basically used my angles to my advantage, especially with the Kinessa. I used a combination of my abilities, knowing the mechanics, whether it's the explosion, whether it's using it as a distraction, whether it's the extra damage I did on Avora accidentally, whether it's me trying to do what I intentionally wanted to do to the Avora, which is the 1.8k combo. I didn't really use Spitfire Salvo often, which I know that's a very popular move. It's kind of hard to do it with a combustible. And I just never really found the opportunity. They didn't have really that much campers or people that just sits on a spot for me to hit easily, so I didn't really find that much effective. So you can't win a match as Drogoz without doing that. And essentially, I just used my intuition about how I should adjust to what's going on to give me the win. And here's my shoulder stats. Very short match. As usual, top damage 33k. My team did a decent job. My job mostly was just to keep on pressure, and I was more of a supporting damage. Like, I knew that Drogoz was a high level, so I expected him to be pretty good at what he's doing. So I just kind of was a support damage, just doing a lot of poke damage and having them finish, and I got accommodated, which is pretty nice. And decided to give it about accommodations. So that was the end of this first review video. I'm going to be doing this a lot more often, and so people can understand my thought processes, and maybe mostly Drogoz, but it may be other champions as well. We'll see in the future. But if you guys like this type of stuff, let me know in the comments below. I can do a lot more of this. Maybe do other champions you recommend for me. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you for watching.